needs service, you need the specialist.
He learned to pitch in your backyard. Now his team's coming over to celebrate their high school championship. So you need to patch those bare spots fast. Pennington One Step Complete has a revolutionary formula that repairs bare spots in only 2 weeks or less. Pennington's been trusted since 1945, and now it works even faster. One Step Complete from Pennington. Honest green. Get your lawn ready for any occasion. Head to your local retailer to pick up One Step Complete.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Crazy?
I think that is perfect.
No. I was getting a little bit of, scruffy look. People said the woof do. Hey, it's Younger Lifetime. Woo!
That's right.
Hey, I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
Happy Friday, by the way.
I know, thank you.
So great to have you back.
And it's nice to be back, and it's nice to go into a weekend. I think that's kind of nice. You come back, it's Friday. Wow, Then
you
we
feel like
weekend.
Refreshed, or was it
I
crazy?
will after the weekend. It's been crazy. Yesterday, I was very fortunate and lucky to be off and get to go on a kindergarten field trip. So I joined my 6-year-old.
Were you a chaperone?
I was, and I had my own 6-year-old and then 2 other little boys. And I have to say, so I've gone on field trips for years. I've always been the parent that I go to everyone that I can. I always get bummed if I can't go. I love to be a part of that, part of those memories. And, I love to watch my children in their own settings, like at school.
Agree.
And, it's interesting to me to always see, I know of course I know how they behave at home. I know how they are when I'm with them. But it's nice to see them in that kind of situation where you kind of just step back and just watch. It's funny. It's cute. It's fun.
Are you a fun chaperone?
I think I'm a really
fun person.
I think I'm a really fun chaperone.
Awesome.
I'll have a great time with the kids. I love to laugh and joke with them, and especially if I see them getting bummed out. But I also have no problem saying that's enough. You know what I mean?
Being the commander?
That's it. I have no problem with that. And it's funny. This was my first experience with, of course, I have boys, but my boys are the youngest. And so with my oldest son being in kindergarten, this is the first boy group field trip that I've, and boys and girls are so very different at that age.
Oh,
really.
so agree.
You know what I mean? And especially the way they play, and it's interesting. And so it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And, I tend to get car sick occasionally, so I have to focus on anything except being on the bus. So
were you actually on a bus? Or
oh
were you
yeah,
in
we
your
take
van?
the bus. Oh no, we
that's
take the
cool.
bus, and I love it.
Cool.
And I told the boys too, you want to know if I'm the fun chaperone? They get on the bus and they're so used to having to sit towards the driver, and we were one of the first ones on the bus, and I said, let's go to the back.
You
and
are awesome.
They were like,
Mom.
what? I said, let's go to the back seats. Why not? You never get to ride in the back seats.
Yeah.
And they were just so giggly. They thought that was so funny, and they loved it.
Do they have seatbelts these days for the children on the buses
They
for the
do.
most
Some
part?
buses do. Our buses, for the most part, do not. The
Yeah.
big, long buses don't. The
Right.
shorter buses, I think they do.
Yes.
But so they didn't. And so that was one thing I had to keep reminding the boys is on our booties, please. We do not need to be up and moving around. Just
You mean
because
like
we're
your
excited.
foot booties?
No, on your butt.
I know. I'm just being a smart
Yeah,
guy
so
there.
I would tell the kids on your
I
booties.
could imagine now on your booties.
Oh yeah, not so politely either. On your booties. And again, hey, don't make me say it again. On your booties.
Don't you make me get up
They
there.
thought it was funny too,
That's
though. The boys
awesome.
did. They thought it was hilarious that I said booties.
I know.
So whatever. It was
come on,
fun.
let's be honest here. Most little boys, anytime
Oh, yeah.
you say something something that's related to the body.
My boys have this terrible bathroom
You know how
humor
that is.
all of the time.
I think all
Everything.
boys do.
They do. Even my husband. I'm sorry to say, but
But you want to know what? In defense of Jeremy, as
Mm-hmm.
as Ricky, men continue to be little boys. I know Sanders, our executive producer, has several boys in his life.
Yeah.
He's a little boy, but you know what? It keeps us young. And I have to tell
and
you,
it's fun.
it is fun.
It's fun to.
It is.
It's fun, especially when the kids learn the line between.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to be silly and even if it's a little gross sometimes, but not to go across the line or to take it everywhere you go. That's where we're trying to teach the boys now. It's okay. It's funny to, call someone a stinky butt at home. But, when we're out places, let's watch
Don't
it.
you
Let's
dare.
watch it.
Right.
And so, trying to teach that is a challenge at times. But we had a wonderful time. And I'll tell you what, we walked a lot. My Fitbit, it rang so early in the day because we just walked. And it was nice.
Did you do your steps?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wear it all the time, but I met my goal much earlier. I mean, by the time school was
Good.
out, I'd already met my goal, which
And
is
what
really
is your
nice.
goal, like 5,000 a day?
The typical goal is 10,000 steps a
Wow,
day,
that's
which is
awesome.
equivalent to roughly 5 miles. So that's like the standard goal.
Nice.
And so I was like, wow, this rang really early today. That paid off.
You're
it
like,
was really
hey,
nice.
I did my 10,000 steps. Honey, pizza. No, just kidding.
Yeah. No,
Flatbread, Rick.
It was a wonderful field trip. We had a great time, and
Nice.
I love to be a part of that. But I did miss being here, and
Well, I'm going to throw out there
back.
to you. Not only did Mary Gelati zing me a little bit, she was absolutely phenomenal. But I'll
She's
tell you,
awesome anyway.
her perspective as a woman, but being a grandmom, a working professional,
That's it.
but her outlook on life, and I say this all the time, is so energetic and so. She's just so fun. I love her.
She is.
Really
And
do.
what I love most about her is she's real. She's realistic about, aging is part of life. There's
Yep.
no shame in that. It's
I agree.
something to stand up and be proud of. And you can age differently. You can age and hate it and try to fight left and
Yeah.
right to not let it happen. And all that's happening is you're making yourself miserable trying to do that.
And you get more wrinkles
You
when
can
you do that.
embrace it and just find ways to feel younger longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I think Mary is just a perfect example of. She's awesome.
She is a dancer. She's an energizer. She's a 7-day a work week, kind
Oh,
of gal.
yeah.
She's a great grandmama of
she's-
many grandkids. I mean, she has at least, I think she's got like 12 grandkids.
Really?
I mean,
I didn't know.
between, and then her children. I mean,
Yeah.
she's crazy. She's all over the
Yeah,
place.
she is. And she's a riot. She's hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad she was able to join you yesterday. I felt bad leaving you high and dry, but
That's
you know
all right.
what? It worked.
I wept for you. And I will
works.
tell you, you do a lot of work for this show. I mean, I
Oh,
want folks to know that,
please.
you really are a great asset to the community. You're just a fun woman to be around. And I love doing the show. We love our behind the scenes people,
Yep.
whether it's Sanders or Brendan or Steve.
Yep.
And we couldn't do it without everybody kind of
That's right.
throwing
It's a
in.
little family. There we go. It's
I like
fun.
to show
I
up
love
and
it.
walk in and go, and we're on Younger Life. No, just, what
Yeah,
are we
that's
doing
me
today?
some days. That's me some days. I race in
all
and
of
say,
us.
it's 2 till. Here we go. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well,
So anyway, today I'm excited that we get to do the bike recap from
Mm-hmm.
our bike ride last week. It's a little nicer out today, but not much, unfortunately. But at least we're talking about it and not out in it today.
Absolutely.
So it was a great time, and we did 10 miles, and we had a few people that were willing to brave the crappy weather
was
and join
crazy
us.
cold.
It was 44 degrees, but it was also just damp and windy and
misty,
very foggy.
rainy.
So it was.
I'm excited to see if your makeup's going to be.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
crazy.
by the end of it, I don't wear much makeup, but
You
I
don't?
love my mascara. I'm not going to
course.
go without my mascara.
do I.
The thing, if you ever stranded on a
Bowie.
deserted island, mascara is the one thing I would make sure I have.
Yep.
So anyway, but by the end of it, it was down my face. It was terrible. Just from my eyes were watering from the wind and then the mist in the air. Anyways, it was funny. I probably should have just completely forgo the mascara for the day last week. But anyways, so I'm excited to see the footage. I haven't seen any yet.
I haven't either, and I'm really excited to see what he took of us and how it all
We're
came
gonna look
together.
so silly too. It's funny. Trina from the bike stop
Yeah.
was amazing and brought me a live bike, which you'll see to try for the day. And I told my husband, I teased him on the way and was talking to him, and I said, Trina said she's going to bring me a bike. I'm so afraid I might dump it. What if I fall and I don't want to ruin one of her
You'll be
bikes?
good. She'll take
He
care of
said,
you.
oh, you might love it. I said, I know, that's the other fear. What if I love it? Then we have to get it. And I think we're kind of there. I
Absolutely.
told my husband,
Good.
I think it's a much more economical bike than I had imagined that it would
Agreed.
be. So
Yeah.
I said, I think we're going to end up having to get it. I love my crappy old mountain
Keep
bike
it, though.
I've had
You
for,
keep
I
it.
would definitely keep
Absolutely.
it. but it is a little more heavy and cumbersome to ride versus this sleek little
Listen, when you
bike I
could go
got
like
to
this
ride.
with 2 fingers and lift it up and put it
was just
down,
nice.
it's like, whoa. And you could feel how much you could fly the way it curbs the road. And I love
it's funny.
taking corners
I
and-
kept putting my brakes on, and Trina kept saying, "Don't worry about your brakes, let it ride." And I said, "No, I'm going super fast. I'm more afraid I'm like gonna fly down this
That's
hill."
what I
you know?
love. I told you, you get up to 14, 15, 18, someone out there, it's fast.
It was fun.
The fastest I've ever gotten on my bike is 29.1 miles, I think. And it was with Brendan coming down a hill in the Northwest Indiana area. And that was unbelievable.
Okay, now keep that in mind
That's
because I have
unreal.
to tell you that I have pulled 22 weird and somewhat useful bike facts.
Nice.
And they're interesting. Some of them are a little more common sense, but there is a record that was set on the fastest that a person's ever gone on a bike, and you will be astonished. Honestly, we'll save this for after our little footage,
Okay,
but
cool. Yeah.
honestly, I think I read it and I read it again and thought this has got to be a misprint. I'm not sure I'd even verify that. It sounds like I almost feel like it's a fib coming out of my mouth because it was staggering. Think of how fast you just said how fast you're flying.
That's fast.
At 15, 16, how fast have you gone?
29.1.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll
get over
address
that
that
this weekend.
afterwards. That would be great. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like Saturday is going to be much of
It
riding
won't
day.
be the day. It'll be Sunday.
I'm a
thinking,
little
right?
bummed. Tomorrow's supposed to be so yucky. We have a lot of family
What do you have
sports
going
stuff
tomorrow?
planned. One of my children has a track. It's an all-day kind of track
That's
event.
outside?
Outside. And then we have it's actually baseball opening weekend. So my 6-year-old, who is doing amazing at T-ball, he has
Love
2 games,
T-ball.
and
How cute.
T-ball's fun. And I'll tell you what, he was so cute after practice the other day. He came home and said, my husband was with him at practice, and he said, I have to tell you that I heard the most favorite thing I've ever heard from a coach. This is what my 6-year-old says. And I said, what? Like he's had a million things with coaches. He really hasn't. But he said, one of my coaches told me that I'm hitting the ball like a person that's been playing 3 years, and it's my first year.
Yeah. Way to go.
My
And
husband
what son
said,
is that?
Daniel. And my husband
Very
said,
cool.
he's rocking it. He's really doing good. So he's so thrilled about the games tomorrow, and I'm kind of nervous they might. If it's a light rain, they'll still play. But clearly, if it's lightning or super severe to where it's
Well,
not
they do
safe.
their lightning strike thing on the fields, don't they? Where it goes off and then you can't play anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh, if
Right?
any lightning hits, they have to call it. So
Can I tell you, when I was in T-ball, now I did fast pitch. I was terrible at softball, really bad at. I did T-ball, and the funny thing was when I'd get up to hit it, I'd be ready to rock, and I'd go, and I always would hit the cylinder. Boom. So I was great at basketball. I was undefeated in wrestling in high school because no one was in my 89-pound weight class.
Oh my goodness.
Basketball, I was really good at.
Yeah, basketball is
Sports
overall,
were
I
not
would
good for
say
me.
my kid's favorite is actually basketball. All of
love
them
basketball.
overall.
Yeah.
That's kind of the favorite of everyone. So anyways, it's also my nephew's birthday this weekend, and there's always
nephew?
stuff. Caden Seth
That's
will
a
be
cool
11
name.
tomorrow. So
Are we going to have a family get together?
Oh, we are tomorrow. It's also
Nice.
opening day for them, and my sister has 4 of hers that are in
Very
baseball
cool.
levels
Oh my
and
gosh.
T-balls, and so
You young gals with all these kids.
it's always a zoo.
Man, what a family party that is. Just
Tell
with you
me, just
two.
my parents and my sister and I are with our families. It's a ton of ruckus right there. There's 16 of us. It's a lot. So
Beautiful.
It's fun and we love it. So it's going to be a busy weekend, very active, and we're hoping the rain isn't too nasty. But I can show the kids this bike footage and say, see there, we made it. We made it on
mom
bikes.
did it.
You can, suck it up, Buttercup, and get through a little bit of
love
rain
that.
if it's
I
just
love that phrase.
sprinkling. So anyways, I am excited to share this. So we appreciate everybody that came out and
Absolutely.
suffered through the crappy weather to do it. And thank you again, Trina, if you're listening, for bringing me out that awesome bike. And I think that's going to have to be
The segue right into
in
it.
the Anthony garage. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's
Is
do
it okay?
All right, Younger Life Live. Here we go. On the ride today, what are we doing? About 10.5 miles, Brendan?
Well, that was the proposed route.
Okay.
But what's the temperature?
Well, right now it's dropped about 10 degrees. We're at 44. Now, this is the coldest I've ever ridden in, but I'm up for the challenge. But I got to thank Trina from the Bike Stop, who's right behind me, along with JD Flynn, Richard. This is great because we've got 3 community pillars here today: the Bike Stop, Open Door Co-working, and Visual Impressions. Take it right there, young Mary Anthony. By the way, what is the coldest you've ever ridden in, Brendan? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, the coldest I've ever ridden in is actually freezing temperatures, but 34 degrees in rain was pretty brisk for Hilly 100 in 2009. I don't know that I actually would call that an enjoyable experience, but it was an experience nonetheless.
Now, Trina, come on up because I want to bond with you.
Trina's probably ridden on ice.
I just,
No.
you just got to tell us a little bit about like the gear, some of the gear we've got on from the Bike Stop. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. As I was telling you earlier, Rick, it's not about there's no such thing as awful weather, just awful clothing, you know? So you can be out in this. I'm pretty comfortable. I was prepared for this a little bit more because I was north of here, so I saw this front coming in ahead of everybody else. But you know, some wind front material and some gloves and, you know, hats, ear warmers, all that good stuff really makes for more of an enjoyable ride.
It's freezing. I would have never thought that I would have been out here, but I love it, and I love the ambience, and I love the company. I love riding with you. I really enjoy myself.
Well, that's good. You know, it's a little foggy, so safety first. If you notice, everybody, I believe, has the flashers on, so cars can see us from, you know, pretty far, and that's really important as well. You know, helmets, lights, all the good stuff like that.
How you feeling, Rick?
Awesome. I love this. We're at 6.4. Everybody's rocking it. Everybody's been awesome. The thing that I think I'm most surprised at is the way the gear is. For me personally, I can ride all day as long as I'm warm, and I'm warm.
I am proud of myself. I've hung in there. I only was wore down on a couple hills, but Trina from the Bike Stop let me use one of their bikes to compare it to my old big box store mountain bike, and this is so much better. A much smoother ride. I feel like I'm not working near as hard, and it's cold, but you know, I would rather this than it be really hot. So
Yeah.
I feel like we can layer on, but you can't do much to cool down. I kept worrying all morning due to the fog that we might have to cancel, and
Definitely a foggy day.
I'm really glad we didn't. And I don't even feel that wore out. Like I could totally keep going. You said only a mile left? Woo! That makes me say, let's do it again.
So we had a few people come out today.
This is great. Big round of applause. Come on.
Woo! Yeah. We did 9.8.
9.8.
Not too bad. What everybody think? I'm not my
I know, I am too a little bit. My face is
I have to say this for me personally. Brendan was my mentor, the guy who started me on the Bike Stop. This is really, for me, this is like, this is emotional in a cool way. Bike Stop was one that turned me under great bike via Brendan in our Tour de La Porte this past August 15. And I had never ridden in this type of weather, so today was the coolest.
Nice.
And I always vowed, I said to these guys, I would never ride in anything under 50. Today was 44. We did 9.8, and I'm very proud. This is a great group.
Yeah, this was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Though, if you were out of the wind, we were warmed up, and it really wasn't that cold
Right.
once you got warmed up.
Yeah. It was
Trina,
a good ride. It was a lot of fun.
what did you think, Trina?
I loved it. But you know, I like you mentioned earlier, I had the gear on, so I was kind of toasty and warm inside. But I thought it was beautiful having the fog on the lake. It was just, I mentioned to this gentleman over here, we were living in a postcard.
Yeah.
And that's what you do when you ride a bike. You live in a postcard all the time. So I loved it. I'd do it again.
It was fun.
I look forward
We
to
will do it
living in a
again.
postcard that has 85 degrees.
That's
A summer, a summer
agree.
postcard. Yeah, we'll do it
Riding in
again.
a full
What did you think, buddy?
Yes.
I'll tell you when I catch my breath.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I'll tell you, we all had different bikes. We all dressed a little bit different. But I just want to thank everybody just from Younger Life and Brendan, Trina, and Richard and JD and all of us. And by the way, thanks to our great crew that helped us behind the scenes. What a wonderful thing it is to just know that you have that support behind you and all around you. That's what this is all about. So you mapped this out. We did roughly about 10 miles, but what would be our next step, you think, for more riders to join us?
Well, again, I think, about the same. I think the goal is you want to be ambitious yet achievable. And so, 10 miles is ambitious, and for some people it's maybe too ambitious, but I think it's important to set kind of those ambitious goals, because once you achieve them, you realize that you can do more than you thought, and I think that's really encouraging and motivating for people. So, I think the next step is let's find a day where it's warm, it's dry, there's fog, and we can try it again, and maybe on a weekend when we can get some more people out.
Are we all in?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was a great way to, enjoy Earth Day, right?
Yeah,
absolutely agree.
Right? She just flexed her muscles a little bit, and we gave it back to her. I thought you guys all did a great job, every one of you.
Absolutely.
So, and we had fun along the way.
Yeah.
A lot of laughing.
Yes, lots of fun.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Rick
I'm
Federici.
Mary Anthony.
And this is our group, Younger Life. Thank you.
I'm not like a
Woo! My gosh.
Isn't that fun? It makes me cold watching it, but how fun.
I have to tell
it was
you.
a great time. And
Wow.
man, Brendan, bravo. That,
Way cool
on the
production.
editing and all of that,
Yeah.
the music behind it, that's fantastic. And the scenery, I love it. You can see,
So do I.
occasionally you can really see the
The
fog
lake
and the mist.
but everything.
It was beautiful. It was a lot of fun, and it was just a good time. And I think Brendan's right. I think the next time we should shoot for about the same exact route when
I
it's
love
not
that
so
route.
cold.
That was a fun route.
What's really nice about that route, again, like Brendan said, setting goals that are ambitious but achievable, and I think that's perfect. Do that same route again, and not be numb by the end of it. So I think that would be great.
Why, Mary Anthony?
Well, it's funny. My mouth doesn't want to move properly when I'm that cold. I feel like it was hard to talk.
Well, think about it if you looked at the footage, and those of you that were viewing it on youtube.com or youngerlife.org/live, as you saw the footage, I was the same exact way, because that piece that Trina gave me, that buff was so awesome. It was like a piece of nylon over your head, and I didn't even think it was going to be. I was like, this is not going to keep me warm, and it was like Under Armour material.
Yeah,
and it was so warm. I felt awesome.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing was, and I made this comment to Mary, I can't believe I wore my shorts that day, my cycling shorts. You know what I'm saying?
You brr. I know. It was surprising.
With those, and someone
Your
texted me,
bird
goes,
legs.
nice legs there,
Your bird
Federici.
legs. Your little bird legs.
So I said, I'm like, as you're on the bike, you're trying to suck in your, in your gut.
Please. I think I had intended to do that, but I lost all sight of that while I was huffing and puffing and pedaling. So.
All right. So I know that Trina and Todd are listening right now. They said they're in the car listening. She's going to view it a little bit later.
Oh, good.
Next time, we should leave flat out from the ranch, a flat route. We could do a
That
flat
would
route.
be
That's a great
nice.
idea. The radio ranch, corporate headquarters for
Yeah.
Younger Life Live, the actual viewing studios where we're doing our
Yeah,
show.
that would be great,
Trina,
too.
call us, 219-861-1632.
We would love that. You looked great on the video.
really
so
looked
that
good.
was, it was awesome.
I mean,
it was a great time. I can't wait to do it again.
I said you looked fantastic, and I said
please.
the best time I looked is when I took my helmet out. My hair was kind of rock and roll like, but then my stomach was flatter. Because when you sit on a bike, it's like,
you're
I felt like a little rotundra boy.
Oh, please.
I felt like a little porker.
Well, and I had, Trina let me put on a vest that they had because it had those pockets in the back. So, which were amazing, by the way, to be able to put my keys in, my cell phone, not, my granola bar, not have to worry about that stuff. So that was really nice. But, she's certainly a different fit than I am. So I said, this baby's going to not fit. So it was kind of a little snugger.
All
it
right.
was fun.
Welcome to Star VIP Hotline, brought to you by the Bike Stop of Michigan City. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Trina from the Bike Stop. How
Good
you
morning.
doing this morning?
We were excited to recap our bike ride. How's it
You
going?
are so cute, Trina.
Yeah.
Those rock star glasses and that attitude and that killer bike. You are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, but I think you might need some glasses yourself.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I have to tell you, the production job, those that were listening, it sounded great, but the visuals, wait till you see this piece. It was so
pretty.
cool.
Very pretty.
And he used the GoPro in the truck. And I would really love to see that footage. But next time, let's play around with that GoPro and do the whole ride, because that's really fun.
It's neat. And, he did a great job. It was really good, especially considering it was so cold. We weren't sure. It was so windy, and you can hear it while we're trying to talk in the background. The wind was so strong. So it was nice. But, I was saying before we played the piece that I think that we're going to end up having to put that live bike in the Anthony garage. I think we're going to have to go for it. And it was much more economical than I had imagined. So I think.
Can you talk about that, Trina, too? Because, Mary's bringing up a great point. The bike that she rode is the same exact bike that Norma picked out and loves. It is so affordable. Can you talk about that line, please, on the live bike?
Yeah, that particular live bike that I brought from Mary is called a fitness bike. So it's designed to be, lighter weight. It has a larger circumference of a wheel, if that makes I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it means for each pedal you push, the further, faster you go. But it has a nice amount of gears, and it's very easy to shift. It's just a really great bike for all kinds of, roads or hard-packed trails or anything. And like you said, Rick, it's really economical. So it's a great way to get fit and be outside. And it's enjoyable, as I think Mary can attest to that.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've ridden my old, mountain bike forever, and I like it, but this was just a way to enjoy the ride without feeling like I'm having to work so much harder.
Exactly.
So I really enjoyed it. I liked it. The ride was a great time, but I really did enjoy the bike. So
right. I see so many people go out and get mountain bikes, and they never have any intention of riding.
Yeah, like trail.
Trail riding.
Like real hardcore trail rides. Yeah.
I like the tires, Trina.
I liked the colors. So
Hey, color is important. I'm all about that.
Yes, I did. I loved it, though. And it was a great time. And, again, the video was really fun and, interesting.
Can I tell you, even Rick Federici, the first thing I looked at, and Mary Anthony actually gave me a compliment. First thing I wanted to see was how what is that called? The buff, that thing that you let me borrow for my neck into my ears. How I looked in that, Trina, but then the gloves. And the gloves actually look like guy gloves.
They look great. They looked great.
I had those chick gloves on.
Well, I do have large hands, so I kind of have man hands.
Oh, listen to you.
She's trying to stick up for me because she knows I have those little dainty wimp hands.
How funny.
You are awesome.
So soon we're going to plan a family ride.
Last night we had our Thursday night group rides, which leave out of the bike stop.
Oh.
And Rick, we came right by the Radio Ranch. We used that as part of our flat route.
Awesome.
And Mary, I know, there was a couple hills.
Yeah,
and you're not used to doing hills.
And Brendan told me one, so I was like, I'm going to kill him by the end of this ride. There is a lot of little hills.
Well, and for people that's riding a lot, you don't really realize it because you're used to doing those hills.
Right.
So,
but
what
for someone
might not
that
be a hill to some is a hill to others.
Right.
But I think leaving from the Radio Ranch, I know it would probably be a little easier for you guys to get there on time.
Right.
There is a great route that you can go out to, right from your door that we do all the time. And I know you guys see Pat riding by all the time.
I do.
On your way in. Yeah.
I
you
do.
guys live in a little slice of heaven right where you're at.
Well, I think that might be what we try next.
Okay.
Just for fun. Let's do that.
Trina, can I ask to, if you don't mind, while we've got you on the phone, bike stop on Route 20 in Michigan City, can you kind of let the viewers and the listeners know about some of the bikes that you have there for the youngest of years to the wisest of years, and, whether they're pre-owned or whether they're brand new? Can you chat a little bit about that and expand? Because I want folks to know, really, you need to go to the bike stop. You guys are a one-stop shop.
Well, thank you, Rick. But we are. We start from the very get-go. As soon as that little baby can support their own head, we have everything from trailers and then on up, from tag-alongs, which, Mary, you know what that's all about now because you got that for your little guy.
Right.
And as they grow, we take everything that's purchased new back in on trade. So as they're growing, you can bring that back in and trade it in on the next size that they need. We've seen young people grow up, and now they're adults, and they have little guys because we've been at this. We're in our 34th year.
Wow.
So everything that comes back in on trade, we go through it. We make sure it's working properly, and it's cleaned up, and it's ready to go, and then we have a used fleet. So a lot of people can come in, purchase one of the used bikes, and you're going to get a high-quality bike. You're getting either a Trek or a Giant bike, and and that it's been gone through by certified mechanics and technicians. So it's safe. It's ready to go out on the road. And we have everything from recreational riders to those trail riders to the road riders and everything in between. So, and Rick, like you mentioned earlier, we have very, low price points all the way up into as high as you want to go, really. So it's, don't be intimidated. Just because we're a cycling shop, that comes with a lot of knowledge. We do free fits. We make sure that you get a whole year of free adjustments because we want you to be on the right bike and be comfortable and know how to operate that bike. We do free clinics on how to change tubes on the side of the road, and maybe if you lose your chain or anything else. So we just really focus on making sure you're in the proper clothing, you have the proper gear, you have the proper maintenance tools that when you're on the road, and you can ride and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, Rick, Mary, I just found out one of Pat was down at the Parks Department, and within the next 2 years, the Calumet Path has already started getting paved. So before the next 2 years is over, our Calumet Path, which starts in Porter County, goes through LaPorte County. It's going to be completely paved and linked up to Michigan.
Wow!
So we are on the route to really becoming a cycling, area that you can get off the roads if you feel like it, and it's going to be pavement and safe, and you can link up around the lake.
You know what? We need to keep those reports on the air. Trina from the Bike Stop with us today. Of course, her husband, Todd Patrick, in the back doing maintenance and the mechanical side of it. Great professionals. Everybody, their team is awesome. Talk a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, about the gear, whether it's helmets, whether it's, stuff that we can all wear as cyclists, from the ladies to the guys to the young ones, shoes. Talk about that side of the company, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. We carry all the accessories as far as your gear, from safety down to comfort. So women are obviously different than men, and yes, we do have women-specific helmets and gloves and all the good stuff, because typically we're designed a little different than you boys.
Oh,
Rick.
you are.
And at the, safety is first for us. So we do, on our group rides, we do require helmets. And I know it's not an Indiana law, but it just makes sense. They're so comfortable. Mary, I know you recently came in and got a helmet. Rick, you wear a helmet. A lot of people, especially the older generation, that were not used to wearing helmets as kids, we have this facade that they don't fit well. And you could still find those helmets out there, that are just one size fits most, and they don't have any adjustments. But we have a full line of different types of helmets, so we make sure we find one that fits your head right, and then get you all dialed in. Get it all squared away. I like to wear glasses because that's another safety. It's not just because they look cool, although they usually do. But cars can kick up rocks. You got dust, you got bugs, you got all kinds of stuff, and you need your eyes. So you'll also see me, and I know I passed. I know Rick, you have them. Mary, I made sure your bike had them. Lights. I use lights 24/7 when I'm on my bike, no matter what, just to grab the attention, because you are, by law required to ride on the same side as the cars. You are a vehicle. So I put front and rear flashing lights just to grab more attention, so people see me before they're even near me. But as far as clothing goes, I was lucky enough to have some extra gear in the car on that cold ride.
It was like a store.
Thank
It was
God.
Yeah.
What do you want? I need gloves.
Cycling clothes in my car, because you never know. Here in Indiana, with this beautiful lake, if the wind shifts, it could be cold and foggy, and then it could be 70 degrees 10 miles off the lake. So I believe in layering. That's why you see so many clothes, that I had those extra clothes, because if you're not comfortable on the bike, if you're cold or hot, it ruins the ride.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing you should think of, and that goes with those nice little cycling shorts with the pad built in, as well. I mean, that just adds extra comfort. But those are the things that when anyone comes into our store, we have those conversations. And if someone's having issues on their existing bike, regardless if it's purchased from us or not, we're here to help. So don't just think that, that seat has to hurt, or my arms are hurting. We figure out why it's hurting, and we make it right.
I have to tell you this. JD said to say hi to both of you. And he says, hey, Everybody looked great. The video was great. Awesome shots by Brendan. Richard said, good morning to everybody. And he said, tell Trina it was fun even with our little side trip, LOL. Because we got
a detour.
There was a handful of us that kind of went on our own route. And I'm just like,
we lost Brendan.
Just keep going. And I'm like, we don't care.
Fun. That was a lot of fun. That was fun.
You know, fun is in the adventure, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what cycling's all about. I mean, you discover new areas, and so what? If you just turn around and go back.
That's it.
I'm with you.
That was a great time.
I am so
Thank
with
you
ya.
so much for joining us.
You guys, I had such a good time, and I had a great time with everybody. You know, it was cold. The conditions weren't desirable, but every single one of you had a smile on your face. You were laughing.
It was fun.
And it was just a great time, and I look forward to the next one.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
Trina, throw out the Bike Stops number, please, and your address in Michigan City, Indiana.
Okay, we're at 609 East US Highway 20. So we're just, we're across the street from the Honda dealership on Highway 20, if anyone knows where that is. And our phone number is 872-20. I'm throwing a blank here. I never call it, Rick. What is our phone number?
I'll pull it right now.
We're going to pull it up right now for you, and we will get it.
I'm driving, and it's hard for me to concentrate.
Well, you're driving and you're talking at the same time. You are awesome.
It's 872-9228. There it is.
There we go.
I had a sip of coffee.
219-872-9228.
Everybody together, 219-872-9228.
Yep. Thanks.
Anybody that comes in today and makes fun of me for that, they can have 10% off.
Oh, my
sweet.
gosh.
Good deal.
Let's go get a bike.
Mary, come get a bike.
Yeah, no kidding. I know,
Holy
right?
cow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trina.
so much.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Thank
you.
I'll
too.
talk to
You
you
too.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Love her.
I know.
Trina and Todd, their husband and wife, they are such a cool
Fun.
couple.
It's so funny
Oh.
to we all have those moments. I love that. So anyway, yeah, the ride was fun, and I think it's a good idea maybe to try it from here one day. So maybe we'll just
The only thing
decide
I'm
last
afraid
minute and
of
pop
is
in.
the thin tires. We'll park our bikes on the grass. I know they're made for durability,
yeah.
and then leave from out here, because even the other day when Norm and I went on a ride, we were together, we were having such a great time. We were about 7 miles into our ride, and we came up because we were watching the kids. We wanted to see the kids because our daughters are older, just like your children, playing, practicing, sports.
Oh, it is fun,
so we
right.
came up on a park in the trail. There were trails, but then as soon as the trails ended, it was all the gravel, and I'm like, ooh. I was like, I don't want to
take the
pop these. So
chance.
I click, I'm walking my bike, and then I just pick mine up. I'm like, my baby, and people look at me like, you know what? That's my baby.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
you make
awesome.
fun of
I
me.
love it.
It's
I
my
love
boy. I haven't named my bike. My
You
boy.
have it. Now it's time. There you go.
What
come
would
up
you
with
name a girl? Would it be a female, your bike?
Well, my bike would definitely be a girl, but I don't even know what I
Whatever.
would.
Look at her.
She's like the big and heavy. I don't know. She's, that mountain bike. It's not light at all.
It's so funny
but
that
it's
Trina
definitely-
brought that up, though, because all of us are like that. Like, okay, so you bought a mountain bike, and you bought it because of the
we're
color
not
and
really
stuff. But when have you gone on the mountains? Or when
Yeah,
have you
or
gone on
any
the
trail.
Right.
Well, we did. We
Trails are
have
cool.
done through a few trails, bike riding. I mean, like camping and bike riding before, but nothing that's like treacherous. Any bike would go on the trails we've been on. So.
By the way, going to the bike stop today, 10% off if you mention that you're
Make
Trina
fun
on
of Trina.
WIMS.
Yeah, there you go.
And
I
you
love
saw her
it.
on Younger Life.
So let me tell you these 22
All
weird
right.
and somewhat useful
I'm
facts.
excited.
So we all know that bike riding is healthy. It's good for our health, but it's also the most energy efficient vehicle that's ever been created. So, I mean, I think we all know that logically, but it sounds funny to put it like
Are you
that.
going
So-
from 1 to 22 or
Well,
22
number
to
1, that really wasn't one. It was just the start of it.
Oh, okay,
It
good.
actually lists number 1. So
right.
the first human-powered land vehicle was constructed in 1418, which
Okay.
is, a little boring, but still
Hey,
cool.
it's great information.
The term bicycle was first used, became popular in France in the 1860s. So that's quite a span of years between the first person on a land bicycle of sorts. The longest tandem bike, I loved this,
Okay.
that was actually ever built was almost 67 feet long.
Wait.
And it could seat 35 people.
Now that, I would do that all day. Younger
That's
Life
so
Live.
cool. I mean,
with
that's
35 of our
could you
closest
imagine?
listeners and
Could
viewers.
you imagine? That's crazy.
Let's try to do that.
Listen to this. The smallest built adult bicycle that
Okay.
was ever created
Okay.
had wheels that were made from silver dollars.
Okay.
Now that's like, it's hard to even imagine. I can't, there's not
Silver
a picture,
dollars.
unfortunately. This
What?
is just a trivia thing.
I'm trying to look at like the headsets are like big.
Well, you think silver dollar's not that much bigger than a quarter.
Right.
And the wheels were made. That's the smallest adult,
Okay.
it actually says adult bicycle ever created. Had wheels that were actually made from silver dollars. I don't understand. I would love to see a picture of that.
I'm just trying to think of like from a circus standpoint. You see the
I know.
clowns, how
That's
would you
what I'm saying.
pedal? Your
Your foot would be bigger than the whole thing.
Your whole middle section would be
I
a little
can't
bit
even
unique.
imagine.
Wow. Right.
So the slow cycling record was set by a Japanese person in 1965. He stayed on a stationary bike he stayed stationary for 5 hours and 25 minutes.
Wait,
I don't know how you.
that wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, but would you're still pedaling? I don't understand how you would be.
Wait. So explain.
It
Say
just
that one
said
more
the
time.
slow cycling record
Slow cycling.
was set by a Japanese man in 1965. He stayed stationary for 5 hours and 25 minutes.
Okay, so he's on his stationary bike for 5 hours. I'm assuming.
It doesn't say stationary bike, which seems strange to me. So that one's a little confusing. We'll leave that one to the
Confucius.
imagination. It's just like the adult bike with the silver dollar size
I
tires.
can picture it in my mind. I could be
The
visual.
fastest speed. This is the one that I just, besides the tandem that could hold 35
Can I guess
people,
the
I
fastest
love.
speed?
Please do. The fastest speed ever recorded on a bicycle was attained by an American Olympian cyclist
Okay.
and Ironman triathlon
I'm going to say, because I know, and I'm no athlete on this, but I love what I'm doing. So if I was able to go 29, I'm going to easily double it and add another 10. So let's go 68 miles per
He
hour.
reached a speed of 152.2 miles
No.
per hour in 1985. His name
Holy-
is John Howard, so I'd be interested to look him up. He's
Holy
an
cow, let's
American
get him on the air.
Olympic cyclist and triathlon competitor.
Do you realize that that's faster than people have ever gone? You know, some people
in a
only-
car. I've never
Right,
gone
that's
that
what I'm
fast in a car. I can't imagine.
saying. Holy cow.
100. So that's the fastest speed ever recorded on a bicycle. And John
That's
Howard's his name. Yep.
crazy.
He reached the speed of 152.2 miles per hour in 1985.
All right.
I loved that one.
All right, so he's got this up online. Our good guy Sanders. Hang on one second here. John Howard, born August 16th, 47 in Springfield, Missouri, an Olympic cyclist from the United States who set a land speed record, as you just mentioned, 152.2 miles per hour, which is 245 kilometers, while motor pacing on a pedal bike on July 20th, 1985 on Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats. The record was beaten in 95 by Fred
Oh my goodness.
Rompelberg. Rompelberg. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. This is cray.
I can't imagine.
All right.
Truthfully, that's difficult to imagine. So
He was a Dutch cyclist, by the way. Thanks for this.
the one that broke it, how fast
Yeah.
did he go?
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. 167.044 miles per hour. He was the oldest professional cyclist in the world at the time. He did beat the previous record that was held by John, which we just spoke about. And he became a pro cyclist, the second dude, in 71. And was a champion many, many times over. And wow, that is
That's
awesome
incredible.
information there, young Sanders. Thank you.
Over 150 for the first one and over 160.
crazy.
That's insane.
Yes.
I can't even fathom that, honestly.
I
So-
could see going 30 miles an hour, and that to me is
Even that, I was like
flipping
pumping
fast.
brakes nonstop, going around a curve
Yeah.
because I'm thinking, ooh, I do not want to wipe out, but
That
I
is
can't imagine.
absolutely crazy.
So there are roughly 1 billion bicycles in the world. Is that our phone?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
ours.
okay.
Hold on one second here. Hey, you're on Younger Life. Welcome to the show. It's Rick and Mary. Who is this?
Rick, it's Roy from the Schoolhouse Shop.
Hi, Roy.
Just as a comment, I'm going to wave my flag here. Just as a comment on that speed record, I believe those were done on recumbent bikes that are specially designed, and they have what they call a full envelope fairing to them. So
Okay,
it
what
sort of
is-
looks like a big envelope going
Okay.
down the road.
All right, so explain, because
Yeah, I can't
you ride
picture
and
that.
talk about you,
Yep.
because you have a recumbent bike, correct?
Right. But these are special design ones for high speeds. And what they have to do, because of the gearing on those, they actually have to tow the bike up to a certain speed,
Oh,
and
really?
then the guy continues to go. And I had heard that speed was about 60 miles an hour, and they sort of take it from there. Because when you think about the gearing on your bike to be able
Wow.
to do that, that's a lot of gears. That'd be about 20 or 30 normal gears.
What is the fastest you've ever gone? Because I'm just curious. I mean, have you ever checked that out when you're riding?
Yeah, the fastest I've ever gone is about 35 miles, and it was down that hill over in Suman Valley. And on my bike, that's about it, because it starts to get a little wobbly because it has smaller tires. But mine is not going to hit any speed records or anything like that.
That's so scary, though. Wow.
Because I had heard it was only about 86. Obviously, these are other ones, but that's how they do it.
Wow.
Roy, can I ask you that route that you were telling me? Where does your route start and end? And you go with a group of riders, and you have in the past. Can you talk about that before we let you go?
Sure. We start out in Beverly Shores there, usually at the train station, and then we head north up to the lake, down what they call Lakeshore County Road, and then out on Beverly Drive, to where the sand thing is that they closed down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mount
Baldy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Then we stay on Route 12 till we get to that Shoreline Brewery, that big pink building. Then we cut over the tracks, go over the bridge. And if you're going over the bridge, you want to make sure you do it on the sidewalks. I don't know if that's legal, but that's a steel grate bridge, and you're all over the place if you're on your bike with that thing. And then we head out to the lighthouse and take a little break there. Look at the lake, then go back. Usually we stop in at the senior center. If anybody needs to use the bathroom, and a lot of us are seniors, so we can qualify and we can sneak in younger riders. So then we head down Lakeshore Drive through Sheridan Beach, Long Beach, Michiana Shores. Then take it would be the Boundary Road. It's called not Beverly Drive, Michiana Drive.
Okay.
So we come through Grand Beach, get on 20th for a short time, and usually take Lubke Road, which is a right-hand turn, and it's a little bit safer. Winds in through No Buffalo. We come out by the Catholic Church, and then head down. We usually have a little breakfast there at David's Coffee Shop.
How long of a ride is that?
What is that? What's the mileage on that one, Roy, for the ride?
I think it's round trip. It ends up being about anywhere 35, 36 miles, depending on where you're starting.
That's
wow,
awesome.
that is awesome. And I'm curious, if you don't mind my asking, how long of a day trip do you guys plan for when you go?
In full-bore summertime, when it's warmer out, we'll start about 7:15, and then we're usually back kind of about 11:15.
Okay.
Depends on who has a flat tire and stuff like that.
Wow, that's incredible.
You're awesome.
That would be a beautiful
Hey,
day.
while we got you on the horn, 30% off at the Schoolhouse Shop. Mother's Day sale going on right now. Is that correct?
That's correct, on women's fashions and accessories.
Can you please give us the number to the Schoolhouse Shop, please?
Sure, 926-1551 or 926-5001.
And
is the
before
direct line to Dune Clothiers.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, and the easiest way to get to you for those that are viewing and or in our listening audience area.
The easiest way to find us is going to be off of Route 20. You can find us up by Route 12, but that's usually National Park, and there's not too many signs in through there. And we're about 1.5 miles east of Route 49, and then we're about 5 miles west of 421.
You're awesome.
On the north side of the road. In historic Furnaceville. Hey, we're on the bike route, too.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciate
Thank you for calling.
Thanks for chiming in.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I love him. Isn't that great?
That is fantastic.
That
would be a beautiful ride, too. That would be
is
beautiful.
A cool ride.
Scary when you're talking about being on the highway a little bit, but it doesn't sound like it's very long.
Do you believe that? Like that's 30.
That's so cool.
36 miles. He said.
That's really,
incredible.
and I mean, you're getting a ton of beautiful scenery in that ride.
And he had said, now he's a young dude. He I know he's right around probably in his 60 range, but he says, us old guys. But think about that. He is staying young, staying fit.
That's it.
With him and his friends and fellow riders, guys, gals.
That's what it's about. Finding things that you love. It doesn't have to be biking, whatever you love. And clearly this is so good for you and keeps you younger longer.
Speaking of younger, our guy Brendan left this morning?
I think
him, Steve, Lydia. Now, Steve and Lydia were in the studio about a month or so ago, chatting about healthier living and lifestyles and eating.
Right.
They're doing a three state ride.
Right, and it is
right now
going to be pretty. Yeah, it's going to be pretty incredible. We're hoping he gets some footage of himself and the the scenery there, and he's going to hopefully join us in a couple weeks and discuss that. And it's just fun. It's interesting. It's a great example. What we want to say is find something that you love and do it. Just, the more active we are, the more active you want to be, and the healthier it is for you and the better it is.
All right, let's go through some more of these.
A couple
cool
of these.
points.
Yeah, there are
This
roughly
is great.
1 billion bicycles in the world, which that kind of makes sense to me. It's about twice as many as motor vehicles. There are an estimated 130 million bicycles produced worldwide, or there were in 2007. It's more than twice the cars produced, which again makes sense to me. Bikes are much more economical.
What do you have in your home? Do you have 7 bikes? There's 7
we have
of you.
way more than 7.
So do we.
Unfortunately, I mean, we have tricycle. We have so many different bicycles and scooters. Like I'm talking foot-powered scooters.
Absolutely.
That we've had. And my husband's always trying to get rid of them. And as the kids outgrow, of course we do. But just because there are too many of them. But it's nice to have extras too. So when there are cousins over or kids over, the kids can ride, and enjoy themselves. And, of course you want to. This is a statistic that I know that Todd and Trina will be proud I'm bringing up. It's about helmets. So it says a study found that almost 3/4 of fatal crashes, 74% in New York City of fatal crashes that involved head injuries, nearly all of the bicyclists, 97% of those that died were not wearing a helmet.
See, that is a
Helmets
great
have been
stat.
found to be effective in preventing death in 85%
Agree.
of crashes, which, I mean, that's pretty big. And again, my children wear helmets. I do not. And I typically do not. I've now been fitted for a helmet and have a helmet. And it really was no big deal.
Helmet because we want you
so
around.
I mean, that statistic alone is very scary. 97% of the people that died in their bike crashes were not wearing helmets. So crashes are 85% have found to be 85% effective in not just preventing death, but preventing head injuries altogether. So it's a big deal. I mean, obviously, please get fitted for one. If you don't want to just buy one, don't. Seek help from the Bike Stop or anybody like that.
It's worth the investment because it could save your life. It takes one shot. It's not about you, because I can tell you just from riding, this too, and you saw what happened to us on a few of our turns and roads that we were on. Some people don't respect riders, and there are some riders that, I got razzed a couple times by our inner group because I was out in the center or whatever. But I truly do believe that you should follow the laws and be very in tune with your surroundings and your fellow riders. That are with you,
absolutely. Absolutely. Along the statistics about crashes, between the years of 1990 and 2005, there was only one fatal crash with a motor vehicle in New York City when the bicyclist was in a marked bike lane. So that's fantastic. That you're talking quite a span of years there, with only one fatal crash when the biker was in the bike lane. That tells me that more people are paying attention. The gear is now with the lights and stuff created to help draw attention to cyclists, and with the marked bike lanes and stuff like that, it allows for a little bit of increased safety, and I think that proves that within that 15 years that only one person died. So I
am beyond stoked. Just so you know, my happy moment of the day came from you and Trina and I when Trina announced about the trails.
Oh, I know. I think that's
I'm
great.
not kidding you.
Well,
That is
I love
going to
the
be great
thought of them
around
being
here.
paved. I mean, that's so nice, even just for walkers, joggers, anything. It's so much easier. And, as a mother, it's scary to take your kids on the road. So if at all you could get a paved trail, that's so much nicer. So this is just a little interesting fact. How many bikes do you think can be parked in a single space in a paved lot?
In a single space?
In a parking lot.
Okay. How many? I would say I'm going to go with how many, just in general, how many can I fit in there?
This says how many bikes can be parked in a single.
Okay. Oh, so it's a rule. I would say 2.
This says you can actually fit anywhere from 6 to 20 bicycles in
I would
one
say
car.
fit. Yeah, I could easily see that.
I was going to guess. I mean, even fit, I would think my 7 alone, I know how much space they take up in the garage. I would say no more than 7. So I was impressed to hear
Well,
6
and
to
them
20.
saying that they're doing them side by side, that way I would say yes. I didn't know if there was a rule that
I
said
even
in
laughed.
that
Are they allowed
spot-
to stack them on each other? Goodness, that's
It's
crazy.
like
That's a lot of
motorcycles,
bikes.
you can only have X in there.
Oh, yeah, true. Very true.
I'm thinking of
I
the
see.
rule.
You're thinking more like a law.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds here, young one.
Okay, let's
Throw 'em
see.
out there.
Bicycles currently displace over 238 million gallons of gasoline each year.
Beautiful.
So by replacing bicycle trips with car trips, you're saving a significant amount of gas. And not only that, it's good for the earth. You know.
Well, listen,
So-
I'm going to tell you this. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's good to have you back.
Oh, I know, it's nice to be back. So it was fun.
Yeah.
The ride was fantastic. And I would say, please, next time we get to go, we'll try to release the next group date next week. We'll try to come up with the date. So
I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
Have a
Thanks.
good weekend.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.
CBS News, I'm Steve